Welcome, geeks and nerds alike. I'm Tim Church, and we're at VisionCon 2017. I got a very, very special guest with me. RJ, how's it going, man?
Good, man. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Clearly, if fans don't know, you were on Face Off.
I was.
Let's jump right out the gate with that question.
Okay.
What was that experience like for you?
Well, you know, I have a standard answer for that question because I get asked it a lot. I feel like sometimes I feel like what would it be like for you to be grilled by somebody that you really respected? What would it be like for you to be stuck in a house with a bunch of people you don't know and cut off from all media? And what would it be like for you to get to go and play in a big room with all of the supplies and equipment that you never had the money to pay for yourself? So what would that be like for you? So that's what I always say. I always answer that with three questions, because as cool as it was also a pain in the ass. you want to jump off a bridge sometimes. So it has its ups and downs. It was definitely one of those things that just. How do you even quantify it? I don't even know how to explain it. It was awesome, but at the same time, it was still rough.
Very stressful, I can imagine.
Yeah, it was very stressful.
The whole time.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I'm not out in the desert defending myself from the bad guys, and I'm not curing cancer either. But it was definitely one of those situations where you kind of go, I'm glad to be home when it was over with too. So.
All right, sweet. Now, I've been asking this kind of everybody here at VisionCon.
Yeah, sure.
What was kind of your inspiration to get into doing the work that you're doing? What kind of drove you in that direction?
My biggest inspiration as a kid were puppets, and I loved Jim Henson, of course, and Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, Little Shop of Horrors with the big 40-foot Audrey 2, and Gremlins, big time Gremlins fan. I loved all of those puppet movies from the late 80s, mid 80s. Anything that would take me out of reality and let my imagination go wild. And then from that, it kind of went into, I'm talking young too. I'm talking like I would take tennis balls and cut slits in them and squeeze their cheeks together and make them talk, So anything I could come up with that creates some kind of little critter out of, and that was, I'm talking 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And then by the time, you get 10, 11, 12, you're like, well, I want to have the coolest Halloween costume. And the coolest Halloween costume does not come in a bag, okay? So you kind of have to figure out how to make a Halloween costume. But then you get this costume going, and you have your puppets and your costume, and then, well, what do you got to do with your face? You don't have to do something with your face, because otherwise you still look a hot mess. So it became makeup was that thing, and then I find out that makeup people are not that different from puppet people, and they use the same products, and we use the same techniques and the same stuff, and really all it was about creating a character and entertaining people. That's all I wanted to do, was create something, be that something, and entertain people with it. So I guess you could say I'm an actor at heart. I am an actor, but that was my true passion, is acting. And all of this other stuff, although I'm very passionate about it and love the creation, it is a tool to become that character.
Yeah. Well, what is some of the work that you've done that people might have seen and maybe not realize, oh, that's yours?
I wouldn't say it's ever just yours. Because there's a lot of people that come together to work on something.
Okay.
But there's definitely some things that people wouldn't know that I kind of had a hand in. I kind of helped out with Poison Ivy's Orchid Bed and Batman and Robin, and a lot of those Frozen folks. It was the very first big movie I ever got to work on. I worked at Alterian Studios with a guy named Tony Gardner and his crew, and was very lucky to be the little kid that they just kind of knocked around and sent places to pick stuff up, and they call those guys runners. And then, when they're shorthanded and they need a little bit more help, they would say, hey, help us with this. Come over here. We know you like this stuff. So they would give me little nuggets every once in a while. And that was, the very first movie I ever worked on was Batman and Robin. And growing up as a huge Batman fan, what is that like? I mean, okay, so the movie was a turkey. But you don't know that when you're 18 years old. You think, oh, this is awesome, And that was one of the things that was like one of the bigger things I ever got to work on, that I really was really blessed and thankful and grateful still to this day for Tony, because I'll tell you, and I got a chance to tell him this in person a couple years ago. all the things that I learned in that shop are what carried me all the way through to the end of Face Off. And I would go back in my head and I would go, now what did we do in the shop when we needed to do something like this?
Yeah.
So I took a lot of that knowledge, and that's what helped me get through to the end.
All right, excellent. Now, as far as Comic-Con itself goes, we're here at VisionCon. What's your favorite part of getting to go around and getting to speak with a lot of the people who are here at VisionCon?
It's very humbling. Because you hear all these people come up to you and they're like, oh, we love Face Off, what you do is so inspiring, and, you know, it kind of floors me, you know. And as a teacher, because that's what I did in the interim, I went as an effects artist and I became a teacher, and then I'm now an effects artist again and all that stuff. But as a teacher, you know, a lot of times the only reward for a teacher is to know that you inspired a kid to do something. I have a lot of my kids that are now in broadcasting because of the classes that I taught. So that's cool. But in one episode, in one episode of one season, you have the opportunity to inspire more people than I ever could have in an entire lifetime in that classroom. That is a staggering number of people. That is a heavy. If you think about it, that's heavy.
Yeah.
That's pretty heavy responsibility, I think. And I don't want to give it too much credit, but honestly, the show deserves that credit for giving new life to a dead art form, really.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, if folks want to get connected with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, I try to be pretty good with social media. I've moved mostly. I'm doing a lot of twittering now, tweeting, whatever. Doing a lot of tweeting now. So you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope at the same handle. It's all at RJ Haddy Official. On Facebook, I'm facebook.com, of course, / RJ Haddy. And my website is just rjhaddy.com. If you can't find my name, then God help you. You know, all you gotta, you must not want to look for me too much. You know what I mean?
All right, awesome. Well, guys, RJ Haddy, thank you so much for taking time with us.
Thank you for asking. I'm honored. I appreciate it.
Nerd Informants is honored as well, just that you gave us a little bit.
No, man, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Well, thank you so much.